We're live.
You're live, I'm over here.
Hi, we're live. See if we're live on the laptop here.
It's like if you turn slightly American.
Are you on?
Yeah. We're live on both now. Live.
Live.
Welcome to episode 21 of the Coaching Mindset Podcast. I'm Liam O'Neill.
And I'm Gary Wallace. And today we're talking a wee bit about reading.
Reading's a good... I like to read
Do you like to read? You like to read your book?
Yeah.
Well, yeah, we talk a wee bit about reading. But I think we'll go back into about what we did this week because it kind of relates to what you did. Do you want to go first there?
So far again this week I've been working towards Connor Keys' play, Mum Says play, so it's on this weekend. Still think it's available, buy them, it's going to be good.
Where do you get them?
It's just in the box office of the Stuart Arts Centre, so if anyone likes plays or laughing like,
Yeah.
if you like to laugh,
That's what you call him, Chisholm
David Chisholm.
David Chisholm, a few guys. He only, he was
That's
messing about. And
Most of them are amateur, like most of them have never, some of them on stage have never been on stage ever, so it'll be the first time they've ever been on stage. Some of them have only been on stage in Connor's plays doing Mum Says. I was in one of them one time.
what were you?
A martial arts guy.
No way.
Basically myself.
I'm, by the way, guys, I'm just trying to see if we're fit online to see if anybody.
Just go down.
I can
Scroll
go down.
down.
Ah, I see.
Scroll
And then,
down. We should be there somewhere.
hopefully.
Just get down, like an answer. And then I did a talk in Raw Performance, so thank you for having me. Part of my little mini... It's us there. It's us.
Ah, yes.
Um,
Yes. We're online now, guys. So if you want to interact, say hello.
We should know we're online because we're on, but we can now interact with the people that talked to us. Last week we couldn't do that, so it looks like it's slightly stalled, which is weird. So we're going to be slightly delayed, but we're going to keep chatting.
Yeah.
We've never done this before, clearly.
We only do it the first of a lot, like so. Literally, the two of us are sitting in my house and we're in our big studio.
In our studio. So yeah, I did a talk in Raw Performance. It was basically about goal setting, how to set goals, not just for in the gym, but for real life. Because I think a lot of people, they go to the gym, set goals for the gym, and then they use real life as excuses for why they don't achieve them goals, or they just forget to think about real life too, and the fact that like your car might break down or whatever. I think we talked about that a couple of episodes ago. Where
I'm gonna actually stop. I'm gonna go out of the shot for a minute here because I'm gonna do something because the way stuff doesn't happen.
yeah,
I'm gonna try our mics here.
Do
See.
Just don't
The
touch.
connection's not as different there, like.
Yeah,
I think we got it.
just don't touch mine. Mine's just sorted. You're covering the.
Come on, not. There we are now.
So yeah, my talk went well. I think, as far as I know, it went well. And then,
Right, go ahead. Back.
nobody complained whilst I was there. So if they have any complaints, you can put them in the bottom, or if you have anything that was amazing about it, you can put it in the bottom. The talk just generally was about goal setting, how to incorporate that into your meditation, into your life, into your breathing, into trying to achieve anything. So like we're going to talk about reading. A lot of people don't have time to read, they tell us, but you just have to make a bit of time, and you don't have to read a whole book. You can read a chapter, a few pages, just something to chill you out. And it is better than sitting flicking, like people don't have time, but they flick through everything on Facebook. So that's pretty much what I did this week, and I'm looking forward to the play at the weekend.
Nice. I think it was a good thing. I was talking to Decky from Raw today.
From Raw Performance.
From Raw Performance. Oh man, check it out. But I think I liked his. Well, first of all, he was getting somebody local in, like yourself.
Yeah.
It's getting somebody in. But he also, when I was speaking to him about it, asked him, well, how did the talk go? And he says, yeah, it went really well. And it was good because he wanted to give back to his members.
Yeah.
I think that's something. And I was actually listening to another thing today. This guy, Galway fitness instructor guy, but
Where's he from?
Galway. Anyway, but that's what he was saying too about, if you are going to a gym or you are in doing any kind of fitness, or even if you go to a golf club or you're involved in a sports team, even if you're not playing, but being part of that culture, it's more so what you get out of it physically, it's mentally as well.
Yeah.
So can you connect as a group? Are you in an environment, let's be honest, you don't want to go in an environment where they go, no, you need to do X, Y, and Z, you get in and you get out.
Yeah.
You want to make it like a family, like a culture that they can come in and enjoy it. I think that's a big thing. So guys, if you're struggling with getting out there, getting active, or if you are in the gym and you're maybe going on your own and you have this perception now that it's so dull and boring,
Yeah.
try a class, try and get somewhere
Try
where
to chat to people.
yeah, talk.
Ask them what they do, even if you know everything about everything. Just ask them, like, what do you do for your chest or whatever. If you're in the gym and you just want to interact, you'll know the people not to talk to, the ones that have headphones and they just don't want to be disturbed. But there's always trainers around the gyms or gym owners that are interested. I think it's starting to come around in this country now where they're asking, like you were saying about Decky getting someone local in. Where now people in Ireland are starting to realise that Ireland has got specialist people, like they've people that have studied in specialist subjects. So they've got ones that are mobility specialists, golf specialists, strength and conditioning, everything. Like we have everything in this country now. I think it's about time we started to like use it. Like why do we keep getting people from other countries to fly over, and then the added cost to your members of getting someone from even just England, that added cost is unnecessary whenever they're like there's only, like we talked about it before, there's only so many directions you can go in, there's only so many ways you can lose weight, there's only so many exercises you can try. So why do we need to get a so-called specialist whenever they're not like from a different country, whenever you have them in our own country? So I think that's something that's starting to change in this country, and I think it's really important. But
I think that's a good point. I think the fact is it's still good to get people from different things, different cultures, different ways of doing it. But I think the fact the point you're making is we haven't even tapped into the specialization we've had here. Like it's not as if it's totally exhausted that you have to go and get somebody.
yeah,
We're going to getting somebody first without going, well, is there
what
anyone
have we
here?
got here? Yeah,
Because I felt like that's what I was doing. I was phoning Daggy, just trying to get a few dates down because I'm going to be running my own workshop on coaching kids, but having that whole philosophy, culture about actually how to coach kids. So I always say about it's not all about the XCOs, it's not all about the games. It's how and why you actually carry out those games. What's your sole objective of a coaching session?
and how you interact with them as well.
Yeah. So that's again, I think Decky, we both like working along well and got on well. And I think I liked his vision when he first came because he came back from Australia and he went for it and he got this brilliant facility.
Yeah.
So, and it's good now the fact that we can actually come and use that for different things. So you did your talk in it, I might do my own talk, and hopefully then we'll get some coaches. But I'll be posting all that info up on my Facebook page and Instagram. And then also too, I was finalising this week our summer camps.
Brilliant.
So woo! Core Kids summer camp. So the only one we haven't finalised yet, and I'm going to make this work. It's going to get it out there. I will make it work. Is Core on the Shore. So we're going to have the week of the 12th of July. I think it starts like the 9th of July. I'm going to run a camp in Rusnella.
Cool.
So, because look, I'm probably going to be up there now, but a lot of people who own mobile homes or houses or anything up there seem to go that week. It's a week where most people are off because it's a bank holiday and they can get away. So we're going to run one up there. We're going to have one in Oma and then a Skillen. And the big thing we're going to launch too this year is our multi-sports camp. Because there's so much research out there of kids who specialise in one sport. And I think with our country as well, where we live, you specialise in one sport because of culture.
Yeah.
Because of the school you go to, the religion you are, you go and you play that sport, and just because you grow up in a certain parish, you go and you play Gaelic, or you go to a certain school, you have to play rugby.
You have to hate the other sport as well.
Yeah, do. Maybe look, I'm not just saying that's stereotypical, because there's people doing a lot of crossover, which is brilliant. What we want to try to do is get kids in, get them trying sports maybe they haven't ever tried. So like basketball, we'll get tennis, maybe a bit of martial arts. We're going to have just a few athletics, just to give them a taste of, here, this is what's going to happen. I'm trying to link in with the local clubs too, to say, well, come you guys down and say to the guys, here's when training's on, why don't you come and try it out?
So even getting them the different aspects of the sport, they'll be able to learn. I used to always say it when I was younger, I might have been the greatest show jumper in the history of the world. No one ever gave me a horse to have a go at it. So and then Jill finally let me have a go on a horse and turns out I'm not.
No, you're not, no.
No, it's not for me.
But it is that. It's like, you know, build a better athlete, build a better person is a good way of looking at it. Because if, first of all, kids specialise in one sport, that's all they're used to.
Mm-hmm.
So they're just used to that way of moving, but they're also used to that culture within that sport. So, you know, they haven't gone and tried a different sport, which will have certain tweaks in culture, certain tweaks even in a different club. Even if you're playing one sport and you go from one club to another, you're going to find different changes.
Yeah.
But exposing them to different movements and everything like that's going to be massive.
Yeah. Plus that, whenever you do that, you're like, if your sport ends through injury or if it ends through just you're not as good as you thought you were, then at least you have options to go somewhere else. Like if you're just a Gaelic player and then you get to the stage where you're either too old or you're not good enough, you're not making the cut or whatever, it just isn't your sport, and you don't know what to do with yourself after because you're just stuck in limbo and the parents don't know what to do with the kids either. So whenever you try different sports, different exercise programs, you can then go and, like, they could just go and join Raw or CrossFit or a different gym just so that they can still get healthy and still get fit, but it doesn't have to be structured as in a sport, in a normal environment, a sport.
Definitely, like a lot of the research does come to from America when you read it, and it's like, you know, it's a college football, college sport, they are huge, and it's something like ridiculous, like only 20% will go and play in college sport, or 40% of that they'll go and play, you know, a different level, and out of that, only 2% will make it as a professional sports star or whatever sport it is. So 2% out of all the sports you could play in America, 2% of the kids that started in high school will actually make it as a professional. And there was a quote actually, but it's like, but 99% of parents think that their kid is that 2%.
Yeah.
You know, and if you look at like Jordan Spieth, a few others, all these guys, even Tom Brady, they know all American examples again. But these guys were all-rounders.
Yeah.
You know, I think Tom Brady didn't pick up a football until ages, so one of the most famous quarterbacks in the world.
Even I've heard of him.
You've heard of him. You know, Jordan Spieth now, golf sensation, and he was like, I'm meant to be an unreal at baseball. The thing when America, they have all their different seasons. But even if we go closer to home, if we look at some of our rugby stars in the Irish rugby team, a lot of them were maybe minor footballers up this stage, and they were playing for the counties, they were playing hurling. They had all these transferable skills. I think it was Shane Hogan, what do you call him? Hogan?
Hulk Hogan.
He had a try against England, I think, with like years ago to win 6 nations. Don't quote me on that, any massive rugby fans. But the whole point of it was that he plucked this ball clean out of this guy's Gaelic-esque and just bang, touchdown, try.
I just, you're trying to get the sport wording right, and I'm just picturing Hulk Hogan playing rugby. That'd be great.
But yeah, just looking at the delayed reaction of me catching out. So
what?
But yeah, that's a long-winded thing, but that's the reason why I run the multi-sports camp.
I think it's a brilliant idea. I think that, again, something I've noticed whenever I've helped you out in different parts of the core stuff is that it's for every kid. Like, you don't have to be good at any one sport, because some of it's just movement, some of it's playing around, like you have Kathy doing headstands and things with them. So it's just for anyone. So even if you couldn't catch a ball to save your life, and some parents come going, my kid couldn't even catch a ball, and I go, how many times in your real life does a ball come flying at you that you have to catch? But how many times do you have to like step up and down stairs and move and not fall over? So, you know, it's making it more relevant for real life without it being sports specific, so that whenever they're 90 they can still do
it's given that positive experience. That's the whole thing of it, so they can go for lifelong, you know, enthusiast of physical activity. And again, it makes it easier for them to pass it on to the next generation, and so forth and so forth. So look, that's what we try and do at core. That's the movement. That's our philosophy. That's what we we aim to do, and we're getting there. You move
Because it's about
There you go.
movement and
There
I
you
like
go.
it.
Sweet. So, yes. Anyway, back sort of today's topic. Reading. So we're talking about reading.
Reading, yes.
So, what's your experience of reading?
My experience, honestly, of reading was I did not read in school. Like,
Snap.
we used to have to every week we used to have to do a reading log. We'd have to read a book, write about the book, and then give it into the teacher, and the teacher would tell you whether or not that was a good synopsis of a book. I caught on very quickly that teachers can't read every book in the library, and they can't know that what every book in the library is called. So if you invent the name of a book and you write whatever you want about it, and it sounds good, then they'll. So me and my brother used to sit up and write the book that
Creative writing.
the book I'll never forget. We called it The Believer, and it was. I'm gonna write it someday. It was about this kid that believed everything. Like I thought it was hilarious because we were like, the teachers believe this every week. I'm bullshitting my way through this class, and we were like, they believe everything, and then we were like, The Believer. So we called this guy The Believer, and he believed everything. You had to write what was good about the book, and the book was good because this guy believed everything, and he went into everything with open eyes and open heart, and he tried to learn and just grow amongst anything. But you also had to write what was negative, what you disliked about the book. So then we wrote under, I disliked about this book was that the guy just believed everything. He just went in and everything was real to him, and he would look at everything with open eye, and we just said it with a different tone, and had a different meaning behind it. And the teacher was so impressed by that book that she wanted to lend it.
Yeah.
But I told her my brother had taken it for his school, and then it got passed around because it was a really good book for young people. So look it up, The Believer.
The Believer.
It's not real.
Nice.
So the first book I really read was George's Marvelous Medicine by Roald Dahl.
Nice.
I went big. Like I was like, I'm gonna
All
start
out.
reading. I went all out. George's Marvelous Medicine. Also a great book for children if you like children's books. And then, what about 16 years later, I wrote a book.
Nice.
That's not a new one, just so everyone knows.
Well, no, but honestly, well done, my friend. Massive achievement. That's good.
Thank you. I am very proud of it. It didn't take. Like I read a lot now. Like I didn't just read George's Marvelous Medicine. And then, like,
I'm gonna read it.
I was ready to say, I'm gonna write that. I spent a long time reading and researching at all the various subjects that I'm into, and then just met a guy that's called Ian Rowland. I've mentioned him a few times on this. He suggested I put it into a book. So all my teaching is in this book now. So everything I would teach if you hired me was pretty much in this book, and it took 2 years to develop. So even within that, like some of the subject matters changed as it went along, as I learned new things about it as I was studying and reading along the way. And then I broke it into 12 easy chapters. So it's not a book that you have to come and read all in one go. You can jump in like if you went in this description.
That's mine.
So some of it is you can exercise more than you think. So if you're trying to get into exercise, you can just go to that chapter and look at that. Or if you want to have better sleep, go to that chapter and look at that. And that way you can develop what you want first. Like a lot of people will be like, oh, I don't have the time to read, I don't have the focus. So get the book and read the bit about focus. Start to focus on the relaxation part, and then that'll teach you everything else. So that I am very proud of it, and that's why why I was talking in Raw and doing like a wee mini tour in some gyms and in some offices and things, talking about the book and then giving people an opportunity to buy it. And again, I know I'm plugging the book now as we're talking about it, but the book is not expensive.
It's not, and I've read it. I was lucky enough to get it before it came out for sale. Yes, got my wee thing on it. But I flew through it. But even just flying through it, I was able to take so much from it. The way I like the format of it. I like the way that you related everything to, look, you can pick up other self-help books and they'll tell you, shoot for the stars and. What do you say? Sound like if you shoot for the moon.
Shoot for the moon,
but if you actually get there, it's just rock and dust.
Yeah.
But your point you were making was, look, yes, be ambitious, go for it, but in terms be realistic too.
Yeah, the point I made, I talked about it in the talk, and I shared a wee video about it yesterday as well, or this morning, I can't remember. And it was that if you don't know where you are, how are you going to get to where you want to be? So most people, whenever they have goals, they have like a real high goal. A lot of the time it's not as high as it should be, but it's high enough to start with. But they don't know where they're starting.
Yeah.
So that's why they don't. And the easiest example is people come into the gym and saying, I'd love to be able to deadlift. And they just pick a number out of the air. I'd love to be able to deadlift 20 kilos. And I'd love to be able to do that by the end of the year. And as a personal trainer, you're thinking, well, if you listen to me, I could be deadlifting 20 kilos within an hour. So it's a good goal, but it's not big enough. So my example always is, if I blindfold you now, took you out and drove you into the middle of nowhere, and then said, right, you have to get your way back to Oma, but you've no compass or no GPS or nothing, like you wouldn't have a clue, like you wouldn't know where to go. So whenever you're goal setting or shooting for the moon or the stars or whatever analogy you want to shoot for, work out where you're starting first, and then, like, say for example I wanted to become a lawyer, I'd have to go back and probably get GCSEs. Like, I don't have a GCSE, part of the not reading. No what? GCSEs. I might have one.
System.
I'm not sure. I might have one. I'm not 100%, but I remember. Does U's count?
You? No.
I think I got a U. Ungraded? Would that be what that would be?
Probably.
Unreal.
Unreal. Oh, that was unreal.
Unreal
work.
So the point is, you need to know. A lot of people just had a goal and they go, that's not going to happen, or family or friends saying that's not going to happen. So being realistic, but be realistic that if you're a family man and you've got a business and you've got all this sort of stuff and you want to get a degree in something, be realistic. You're not going to be able to study 12 hours a day, but it might take you 6 years to get a degree. And Eric Thomas would say it took him 12 years to get a 4-year degree, but on the certificate it doesn't say that. So he's got the same as everyone else. It just took him 12 years, where it took other people 4. So I think that was my point with that, was aim high, like aim ridiculously high, but be realistic about it. It might take you a long time, but even if it takes you a long time, as long as you're moving, you're still getting closer to your goal.
I think is enjoy that journey, and enjoy the failures. I think that's a good thing I actually heard today, and it was, we said this thing. It's alright. You can't wake up every day and feel brilliant, because that's your emotions, and you have to be willing to accept all your emotions. You have to be willing. So if you are aiming for a goal and you wake up someday and you're just feeling like shit, you feel like you're not going to get this goal, embrace that. Acknowledge that and turn around and go, no, you know what, I'm going to have to learn from this, right? How am I going to help myself get out of this? And use all those emotions, that fear, that anxiety, that you're feeling so much pressure. Use that and try and twist it. Now, it's far easier said than done at times. And again, it's a skill. It is a skill.
Whenever you use it, again, most people, we talked about this with Annette, wasn't it, when we talked about anxiety, and people run from it and hide from it. They don't even like the term. So whenever you're doing emotional control without being controlling, I think is a very important tool. And especially, like, I work with a lot of kids, and emotional control is just, it's just not being taught, and it's not the parents' fault or the teacher's fault. People just don't know that they don't know how to teach it. They don't realise till it's too late that their kids don't know how to feel or what's going on. But whenever you're doing that, like, you wake up when you feel like shit and you think, I'm not going to progress at all towards my goal. You can change, instead of aiming towards your goal, aim towards, well, why did I feel shit today? It could be anything. It could be lack of sleep. It could be what you ate. It could be somebody annoyed you yesterday, and for some reason it's still annoying you. And then you can start to think, like, why am I annoyed about this? Maybe it's something underlying about that, and I'm just using that as my excuse to be annoyed. So whenever you do that, whenever you focus on that, then you can still create a positive day out of a negative beginning without you worrying about your goal. And a really important thing to remember about goal setting is they're allowed to change.
Yeah.
When I was 18, I wanted to own a restaurant. That's all I wanted to do, and I even went into the courses on business management, and I worked in restaurants, and I got to run a couple restaurants, and then everything was aiming towards this restaurant. Me and a friend of mine, he was a really good chef, and we were going to create this amazing restaurant. And then one day we just thought, I don't want to. Like, I don't want to do this anymore. No. It's just not. So you're allowed to change your goal. Like, and what a lot of people do is they make a goal, they tell people, because that's part of your SMART plan. Gary, I'm going to become 37 stone by next Tuesday week. And then I have to try to do that, and then I go, oh God, don't let Gary down. Whereas I can come to you and go, actually no, it's one, unrealistic, which you should have told me, 37 stone. And
Hey,
two,
my fault. Blame somebody else.
but
Blame somebody else.
But then the second point is that you're just not interested in that goal anymore. Life's changed. Like a lot of the time whenever I work with people, they become more confident, more self-belief within themselves, and they become more healthy because they've changed their eating and the way they do whatever. And then they realise, they come back to me and go, Liam, remember we spent 6 sessions working on my goals? And I'm like, yeah, I don't want to achieve them anymore. They were what the old scared, like negative version of me wanted to achieve. Now I want to hit this goal, and I want to hit this goal.
That's perfect, because then, look, God, I want to be a landscape gardener. I was going to open up my own.
I was a gardener the other day.
thing.
My hands are wrecked. I am not designed for
You're not
outdoor work at all.
I had all these ideas, and I tried a lot of stuff, and I tried everything, and that's it. And that person you said who goes, no, you know what, my goals have changed now. But the good thing is they've learned. They've actually learned. They've learned in the process of trying maybe to go for one goal, that they can try and help them go for the next goal. So never think of yourself as a failure. And hey, I've done it before myself. Going that idea, and then you feel, because you are telling people, sometimes you're going, just keep your mouth shut. Just keep your mouth shut. Just put your head down and do it. But it is good, because it does make you that wee bit more accountable. But don't ever knock yourself up if it doesn't actually come through.
Don't be knocking yourself up.
And then you went, oh, that's an easy kid. Do you know what I mean? Do you know what I mean? No, don't not get knocked up. So yeah, but don't beat yourself up. That's what I meant to say. Don't beat yourself up. But yeah, so that all kind of went away from the reading thing. But
I think it's a good point. I have another point to make about with people with teenagers. I think goals. I don't know how we got on the goals end. Probably through my book. It is very goal oriented. I had a goal to write a book. I wrote a book. There it is. Buy the book.
Buy it online. Buy the thing. I like physically reading, but we'll talk about that.
It's actually $4.99 online, so it's not even expensive.
Tenner.
Tenner plus postage and packaging. But what I think is very, very important, I said it already, is being willing to change your goals. Like when you think about it, at school in third year, you're expected to know what you want to do with your life.
Yeah.
Like you're supposed to pick your subjects that for the next, if you're lucky, 70 years, this is the shit that you're going to, like that is mental.
Yeah, that's mental. It's like even college. So the amount of my mates now, I did college and we did the sports degree and stuff, don't even work in sport. And the amount of people who will do that, and that's okay, because like I would say go to college, because I learned so much for me. Like I wouldn't want to miss out on those opportunities. Okay, if it didn't go, I might have had to somewhere else. I might have took another path.
I didn't go to college.
Yeah, but you know what I mean. So that's,
I went for 2 days. That kind, so I wasn't hired. But
that's fine. I still worked in sport, and I'm still working in sport, running my own business on it, which is good. But the people and friends that I made, and living away from home, and doing simple things like that, you learn so much more. So that if anybody young is listening, we've said this before about exams and all, that yes, work hard, and it's more so about the fact of like, picking up that knowledge and picking up that experience of what hard work is, knowing how to settle down and to concentrate. That you just because you failed an exam, so what?
I failed them all. Like I even, a story I tell whenever I'm talking in schools is whenever I was going into my maths exam where you took a calculator, my teacher stopped me to search me because she wanted to make sure that I wasn't bringing in cheat notes, and she lost the head because I didn't even have a calculator with me. I was landed in Bunahan going, I'm not going to pass, I don't care, like tan costs, like when, I don't even remember the third one, tan cost and sin? Sins? Pythagoras' theorem.
Okay, cool.
I don't know how often you use it.
That's a Billy Connolly sketch, I love that. But, excuse me, sir, I'm looking for directions. Say, well, A equals X is.
It's not going to happen.
It's not going to happen.
So what have you been reading, guys? Apart from my wonderful book?
If I read a wonderful book, I actually read now. Well, I read a good bit. I read now every night. I read every night, and I can slack a wee bit actually in the morning. My routine was in the morning I would read something more theoretical, so something like at the minute I'm reading a book. I'm doing another online course about conditioning, youth or strength and conditioning for kids, and I'm just doing an online course. So in the morning I read that. At night time I read, try and switch off and read another book. I'm actually went back because I didn't read two when I was younger. I'm actually reading White Fang now.
Even the movie was terrible. White Fang.
I know it was one of those ones because you know what I was reading. I was like, right, I want just something because I was reading. I was picking up self-help books, and then I was just
reading ferociously.
You know, my vocabulary is not that. Like I did not read at all when I was younger. Like did not. Had no interest, and only started to read now. Even out of college, I didn't even read in college. Like
Still passed.
Just got it up here. From here and to here writing and talking. Sometimes it just doesn't compute. Like it's the probably right word. But anyway, so yeah, no. So now and you talked about this as well, and I've said it before, but it's been a massive game changer. Is charging the phone outside the room because now every night for 10 minutes I'll read. And I've been sleeping so well, unbelievable, just by switching off, getting away from that whole scientific blue screen, but mentally just chilling out. And it's actually I did it in Christmas on this table here. I put out all the books that I had read, and whenever I put them actually out, I was like, wow, the amount I actually got through, and that wasn't even counting then all the audiobooks. So I'm driving and ebooks and stuff and just listening now, and God knows how many podcasts too I listen to. I think that's the thing, it's just it's never going to be wasted.
No, you're making better use of downtime. Like the amount of people that complain that they're stuck in traffic if you're listening to a podcast, especially when the kids say good, but you find yourself slowing down as you drive. Like when I get closer to my house, and I've seen myself do it, I sit outside the house just sitting there waiting for that bit to go, and then I'll pause it and go in and listen to it in the kitchen to finish it off. But you're making use of, like, we've all this commuting time that, like, you're not getting, like, whenever you go to work, you're not getting paid for your commute. As far as most jobs go, whenever you're not getting paid for the commuting bit. So try to make use of it. If you wanted to study more but you think you haven't got the time, stick on a pair of headphones, do it in the gym, do it when you go for a walk, do it in the car, whatever, just listen to anything like audiobooks. Anything.
I think that's the thing with the likes of the reading at night. It does relaxes me anyway. It helps you unwind and helps you sleep. Plus as well, I like physically having a book, but like the amount of audiobooks. I actually just finished Elon Musk's autobiography. Very interesting, and that's the thing too. You know, you can go now and I was listening away to all these self-help books and everything, and trying to find different ones in my field of nutrition. And I was like, let's try something a wee bit different.
Yeah, just get it. Yeah.
Arnold Schwarzenegger was my first autobiography, which was actually
good book.
Unreal.
Yeah.
And then, it wasn't a theory of everything, it was a little bit about everything, or everything you need to know. And it was like scientific, it was like going over my head at times. But some of the stuff then you picked up, and some people were talking about it, and I was like, oh, you know what, I listened to that before, and this is your blah, blah, blah. So there's so much information out there, guys, and reading it and listening it is massive.
And it's so easy to do. Even since I've released the book, there's been a few people coming to me and asking me, am I going to turn it into an audiobook because they can't read? A lot of people just stop at, oh, I can't read. Like, have you ever read a book? No, I don't read, I can't read. Why don't you listen to an audiobook? Never thought of that. So it's not even in some people's wheelhouse to even think that you could get a book on audio if you were interested in a subject, like a personal trainers. Like I've met a few personal trainers that don't really read, and they're learning off YouTube videos and things, and you're saying to them, why don't you get the books that you want to learn from, like the specific strength and conditioning work, and get the audio version of it and just learn it off that. You're not going to learn everything off audio, but at least you could if you tried. So you don't have to actually be able to read to learn and take on information, I think.
Right. But it's definitely it's if you haven't read in it, and I think we're a prime example of the fact that like I didn't actually properly start reading until maybe 3 or 4 years ago, you know, and I'm only starting now to consistently read, whereas I might have picked up a book, I might have been stuck in that book, and then I would have stopped. But now I find myself ordering more books than anything online.
Yeah.
You know, and it's constantly coming. You know, this next book, and my issue is at times it probably stacks up too much, and I probably just get trigger happy. But you know, thinking, oh, I'll read that at a certain time. So probably not the worst. Probably better ways you can spend your money. but at least it's there. It's physically there, and I can pick it up.
Right this week, like.
So
Yeah.
and you do that, and maybe you will pick up a book. I know some people actually resell their books, or they gift them or something like that. People actually say, because it's dead money sitting there. Which for me, some of my books are great to pick up and go again, and that's the next one. Like I was reading your book, and I did highlight some stuff I was going, so I had a highlighter, and especially if it's your own book.
Yeah,
and it's always good to go back and just highlight a few of the good points in here. Like
I do love buying secondhand books and seeing what they've highlighted.
I do.
See what they think is interesting in the book, and see if I think the same is interesting.
We got that. That says, what does that say? Gary, you are the best podcast host I have ever hosted with. Thanks for all the support, Liam. Yeah, thanks, Liam. I think I got the one that was The Alchemist, and it was like a wee note, like, Dear Michael, I hope this makes you know how truly much I love you. Great story, blah blah. I'm going, ooh, awkward.
Thank you.
So, I wonder if they're still together, if we get rid of this. But yeah, secondhand books are always, and that's a good thing too, because if you think, oh, books are far too expensive, always go to the option in, I'll hold your book here, always go to the option on Amazon where it goes buy used, used or whatever, and you can pick up books for a few pounds.
There's loads on YouTube or on Facebook as well. There's loads of like secondhand book store pages and things where people just like yourself that have a lot of books that go in. I hoard my books because I'm going to have a mansion someday that has like a Beauty and the Beast style library where
with a ladder that swings around you.
It was a test to see how much of it you watched. But I just like having them. I like going back. A lot of mine are for learning. And even through that, like again, we're talking about reading. Like I never read, and there's people that can teach you how to read at the start. But now I can speed read, like incredibly fast. Like when I started speed reading, it was the finger speed reading where you go across with each thing, and now I speed read down the middle. So that's like the advanced version of that. So I went from not reading anything really at all to.
But I'm going to take you to read we're average read 200 pages. 200 pages to 10 or just.
It depends if I can get set up quietly. If I'm trying to read it just to get it done to see what the information is, then I think I'm around 300, 400 words a minute or something like that. I haven't timed it for a very long time, but I just go down through, and it's sort of now, the more I do it, the more I've sort of trained that I will click on to something, and then I'll stop, and I'll read that or highlight it, and then I'll just go on through again. But you need to set it. The problem with speed reading is people would sit here now, and they would have their computer on, and they'd try to read. I can never speed read. You have to sit, have nothing else on, no music, nothing, just sit. The only thing is you in the book, and set it up comfortably, and sit so that your eyes can trace the page, instead of sitting trying to speed read that way like you have to. So you'll notice if I'm just sitting reading a book for just going read over stuff, I'll just read it like that. But then if it's a new book, there's I take a different posture whenever I'm reading, and I read.
Tim Ferriss talks about that too, about speed reading, and he kind of gives, I think he's got a blog, you'll probably find it on YouTube, too, about speed reading. It's probably something that I haven't done. I think if I want to get through a book and it is something, maybe, for example, yours is very easily read, you can actually skim through it, because then you can pick it up again, in just different sections. So I would probably recommend that, even if you get the book and just fly through it, and if there's wee things that spark, because the good thing is you could read that again and you'll find something else because you were reading through it really, really quick. But there's no better feeling actually than going and finishing a book and just going, done. Well, probably better feelings, but it's a great feeling.
That's why I'm near the end though. You're about 10 pages from the end, and it's like 4 o'clock in the morning. You're like, I really should have.
I know.
But I'm nearly there. And you just keep reading.
Yeah. So this is a book. It's a bit of a plug, but no, it is quite important. I think too it's good. But like we talked about earlier on about doing multi sports and about being active and passing that on to the next generation. I'm actually quite grateful now the fact that I'm reading, and Joyce now is picking up on it, and he's read, and he actually read that Wimpy Kid, Jack.
Diary of a Wimpy Kid.
No, it's the Warrior Kid.
The Warrior. Jack Wilco.
Jack Wilco. You were watching him on Instagram. He's like, "It's Monday. What are you gonna do? Get up your ass. Get some."
I really like him. He's really good. And his book as well at home was really good.
He's good.
I
With
think my brother
ABC.
wrote it. Aye.
Yeah, with him. Yeah, I must actually get ownership or extreme ownership.
Yeah.
Extreme ownership. Good book. But yeah, no, look, again, good habits. And I tell you what, you know, I suppose when you were younger, I was like, you're a nerd, you're reading. And now you're going, my God, I wish I read when I was younger.
Nerds now in the world.
You know.
So as a roundup, then we called this "Why Read." So Gary, why read?
Why read? Why read? Because there's so much information out there. And I think we can get very easily stuck. I still get a bad habit to get stuck on my phone, watching crap videos, and like 90% of us will do that at night time on the phone in our bed. So I've harped on about this before, but it is small change make a massive difference. Charge your phone outside the room and read for that 10 minutes.
Don't leave it overnight because if your house burns down, we're not liable.
Okay, yeah. Yeah, no, yeah, he is safe. But
That's just covered now.
Yeah, I know that is covered. But then it means then too that at least you have that every 10 minutes. But if you do get into a really good book, you'll actually go, you know what, I have half an hour here.
You'll read some.
I'm going to pick this book up again. And it's just that knowledge, and you'll go and you'll seek and you'll start talking to people and go, what books do you read or can you recommend me? So, and then that can only add to more knowledge power.
Yeah.
So that's what I would say. Read. It's good for you.
Yeah, I fully concur and agree.
Yeah, free.
Plus you can learn fancy words that you can use.
I know.
Like metropolis.
I always love the word fathom.
Fathom. I can't fathom why people like that.
Yeah, I
It's
like
just
fathom.
don't know.
I
Fathom.
like that.
What is your favourite word? Put it in the questions below.
Yeah, thanks for all our viewers.
uh,
I mean, I ended up the two. But God knows, Instagram could be going crazy.
Instagram.
Sorry, Instagram, if we're on Facebook and Instagram. But yeah, so I think
thought of that.
we're going to round this up. We could have to give it
We
two.
can have like a split screen with Insta
Yeah.
face.
Hey, look, we do this. We want to try and get a wee bit of information. Hopefully you can pick something from it if you just do it. And you never know where to lead.
And if you want us to actually talk about something that you're interested in, just put it in the comments, send us a message, let us know. And whenever you buy my book, take a photo of yourself with my book for my album of Look at Me with my book.
Awesome. So guys, thank you very much. I think that's us wrapped up.
I think so.
We do some exit music.
You can exit music and I'll start it. Thank you for being.
Thank you.
I was just mumble. That wasn't exit music. You have to still look cool because you're
Online still?
Online still.
live.
Oh, I can't finish it.
You done?
Nope. 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 Nope.